I don't know. But
it's all about the participation
exactly.
once again. Aster, their lineup is like, they don't have a real tank, I would say. Like, even though I do prefer their lineup over Knights, it needs some time to get online. I think Kazu had a good point about them having weaker lanes, especially this off-lane Pango. This is the hero that usually does not win a lane. And looking at some of the items, XXS starting with the Raid Band. What a shocker.
Whoa.
He's going to be playing with Keeper of the Light. It's a strong combo. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to put much pressure on a Faceless Void, because he can use Time Walk and just negate all the damage that has been done.
And we'll see what they're able to do with the Faceless Void, how it's going to be. Like the panel said, there's a little bit more to be thrown into the Chronosphere this time around. You've got that Viper. So we'll see.
It's still not the greatest damage. It's not like wow effect when you talk about, I don't know, follow-up of Mortimer's Kisses or
right.
And anything beta, Sunstrike, Cataclysm, even better.
I guess so. You're kind of right. The Illuminate doing some damage there to Flyby, but still no Coddle Ultra Kill.
Not this time.
No.
Aster's lineup is very good at resetting and coming back into the fight. You will have a Keeper of the Light with Chakra Magic against Ember Spirit with slight Pangolier. Like the Phantom Lancer, not as much, but he wants to get in and out of the fights multiple times, especially when he gets like to his third, fourth item where he becomes very annoying to kill. They just don't have enough damage. There are some stuns, you know, the spear into arrow, into hook shot. There's decent amount of control, but the way to execute it, if you misuse it, and then PL burns your mana, comes back with the heart eventually, it's just very annoying to deal with this type of lineup. Pangolier using the Swashbuckle from a distance, Sleight of Fist. It's going to be a lot of poke damage, and I want to see what item build they're going to get. Like, Time Walk is very efficient against this poke damage. Maybe right. Felix decides to go for Mech/Guardian Greaves. I think that's going to negate a lot of the poke damage that Team Master has.
And we saw this in the first Faceless Void game, right? You know, having the ability to Time Walk up against this Coddle. So we'll see how much Ego uses it. Ego had a really good game in that second one with the Shadow Fiend. The first one with the Faceless Void, not exactly the best thing in the world, but you know, always room to improve, and we'll see what Knights will do. I think in that game one, it felt like Knights were very hesitant, right? They just didn't really find themselves feeling comfortable with the lineup that they had, and I'm wondering now maybe, especially coming off a really good Viper game.
There was not that spark in game one. Yeah. The second game, they looked much more crisp with movement around the map. Let's see what they have in game number 3. Monet on the bottom so far, 6 CS, and is holding a whole creep wave. I don't think they can put too much pressure on this Phantom Lancer Disruptor. First couple of levels, very strong. Looking at the starting items, PQ started with 5 mangoes, so that's going to be a lot of Thunder Strikes.
Gonna hit him with a Thunder Strike, and maybe do a whole song about it. We'll see. As like CJ and Bobica, they run at each other. This has been very common from what we've been seeing from supports. Just this like make your own game kind of thing, right? They just the 4 against the 5 over like top mostly, as they just run at each other, have some fun, right-click each other, and then get back to the lane eventually, like this.
And this is the second time Baboka is starting with the Headress, so he wants to be able to provide regeneration for his offlaner.
Right.
And Pango doing much, much better than I expected. I mean, it's all about these first couple of waves when you were using the Illuminate and the Shield Crash. So, I mean, it's also Faceless Void plus Clockwork, 2 melee heroes against Pango and Keeper of the Light. Usually Clockwork's paired up with a ranged carry hero that he wants to protect. So this lane, in terms of synergy, it doesn't really have much.
And it gives Aster that opportunity to just take advantage of that lack of synergy, and you can see it already. XXS 18-3. Even Coddle getting into the mix. Bobica has himself 5 CS, and we saw in the first game when he played that Coddle, he went into the jungle, farmed up, gave his offlaner time to get a very quick 6. And that was one of the things that I think really helped Aster as well, right? Like, you get that quick 6, you get that ulti up and running. And some farm on Bobica, too. He was, by the end of the game, had a lot going for him on that Kano.
This lane was super popular like a year ago, maybe even more. I lose track of time when Keeper of the Light was top tier hero. I think we're gonna see a bit more of this hero.
It certainly feels like it's into the mix enough where it's getting into most games at the moment. Treant is certainly one of those heroes that's picked ban all the time. It feels like he's certainly in the mix. Denying these cogs around Bobica. But again, really quiet overall. We've seen this throughout all 3 games up to this point. Things don't seem to really pop off until the 20-minute mark. Very calculated early on, and you know, the first matchups are like this. I think in China, things are very hesitant, very calculated, especially with the roster shift that we had. I think a lot of teams are certainly getting used to what they are working with. And, you know, maybe not the same could be said for Aster, as a lot of these players have obviously been together, but, well, for the moment, it is being quite calm.
They're being very cautious about making a mistakes, because it feels like they just value first blood, how many kills they give up in the lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Next CJ, trying to catch his courier on the return. And there it is.
Radiant's
First blood.
courier has been killed.
Spilled on the courier. Look at that. Yeah, Aster now minus Ori plus XWY. And if it's anything like last year, you know, Ori kind of had a breakout year. I think a lot of people were talking about how he had really lacked in that year prior to last.
Oh, Ember still level 5.
XWY getting hit up. Battery Assault is there. The arrow comes in from Felix, giving the assist over and getting the kill here for Alacrity. First blood. Illuminate. Bobica looking to get one last click. Can he get it? Ooh, Cogs. Neutrals? Or...
He'll try. Oh! Clips him, but he's going to survive.
Oh, courier. Okay. No, Bobica will get some help from the tower. And the courier survives. Got baited. He got baited by the courier.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It happens. So, one of the things that I think, too, you know, we just saw a really good game here for Felix on the Rubik. One of the things that I like about him is his Mirana is probably one of his top heroes. Plays it really well. I'm ready to see what he's able to offer. Hit that arrow already to help with the first blood.
There's some decent setup for the arrows in this game as well.
Yeah.
Arena, Spear, Chronosphere, Cogs. So it's a good thing. You don't necessarily need to, you know, land it on your own.
Certainly don't. 1K lead already for Knights.
Mid lane did kind of poorly for Ember Spirit. He's still level 5 trying to jungle. Baboka taking over the mid lane, trying to get some XP there, while Alacrity is free farming. And seems like he was thinking about getting the same item build, but for now, he just removed everything and has Boots of Travel. First chrono of the game.
And that's going to be followed up by an arrow, so this Pango not able to do anything. XXS will fall to Ego. He used that chrono to get an early kill. And right on the money. Like you said, it sets up for the arrow, long-range arrow. Monet hit with the spear under the tower. But again, nothing doing. And it feels like experience in gold-wise, Knights are really just controlling it all. Viper Strike, arrow! Ooh.
Another Remnant. He still has another one. Even Clockwork's cutting things out with the rocket.
This is not fun for XWY. Really getting harassed. XCJ, he's over at the line, the triangle, and maybe just trying to annoy Bobica, who's using that Illuminate to farm the stack. Thunder Strike onto Felix, taking a lot of damage. Arrow comes in, hits on a Piku. Piku's got the kinetic field to go to the glimpse to try and get Alacrity away from him, but the damage from XCJ. He'll get a trade kill as they took out Felix. Bobica getting credit for that, and Alacrity goes into the invis with that rune and immediately breaks it with a right click, getting the CS. So 1 for 1 over in this mid lane and giving up the life of the Mirana.
Something similar we've seen yesterday when EHOME played against IG, where there were 6 heroes in a mid lane between 7 and 10 minute mark constantly, and all the side lanes were free farming. Rotation from PQ. He's going to bring some extra regeneration. Tango as well. Phantom Lancer does have a Vanguard available, going in for more of a tanky build. Understands that there's going to be a lot of poking. Later on, you can turn that into Heart, and like it's not that bad of a game for a Hood as well. But I think still hitting your it's way too defensive. So you want to get the farming item, either Yasha or a Diffusal Blade, if you want to fight with the team after getting power treads.
We'll see at what point he starts to move around the map and try to get something done. He gets the Tumbler's Toy to drop. They've got Arcane Boots now on XXS. Arcane Boots, Order of Corrosion, Ego still up here, happy, top of the net worth. And you look at really the top 3 there, all for Knights. Then the next 4 for Aster. The game's pretty even. You're getting a lot of farm on your Kato for sure. I mean, he's almost as farm as XWY. That is insane.
He has a full mech.
Who does that feel better or worse for? Obviously feels really good for Bulika, but like, are you okay with where XWY is? Because you would terribly fine.
You would prefer that your Ember has more farm, but this is a good thing. If it's gonna mitigate a lot of damage, it's almost a 275 AOE heal on mech. Mech is so cheap right now.
It's not like, I guess he's 1,000 gold behind the Viper. I was gonna say it's not like he's getting beat too badly, right?
It's 800, but still Ember, like hero that kind of needs a good start. Like you want to be able to move around the map, control the runes. Does have a double damage, speaking of runes.
They're going to want a Chrono again here, it seems like. Yeah. They're going to go to the Chrono. They'll look for the arrow. That's going to land here onto the Pangolier, but they've got the Searing Chains from a distance. Now they're going in. They've got the static storm as well as the mechanism. They'll get the kill on Ego, and they'll keep alive this Pangolier. They've also got Felix thanks to the glimpse, and they'll get the kill on Felix as well. Double kill there for XXS, and Aster with a good rotation from XWY as well as Bobica and PQ. They get 2, they lose none, and here comes the tier 1 getting taken out.
Definitely didn't expect Keeper of the Light to show up with mech 10 minutes into the game. If this is some other item, I mean, they would still be able to get the kill, but the mech keeping XXS alive there, and yeah, he's going for more of a offlaner style, just getting Blink Dagger after finishing his Arcane Boots. He's not trying to scale. I wouldn't mind, like, they don't have a real initiator, so I can understand why he wants to get a Blink Dagger, but also Diffusal Blade is very tempting, especially because you're playing with Chakra Magic. So double Swashbuckle, it burns so much mana.
Yeah, it could be a lot of mana, but what? It's they just don't want to stack the Diffusals if PL, yeah, he's getting one.
I don't think you can have too many Diffusals.
Yeah,
but
you're not wrong.
You also want to tank up, like you want to have something different from your offlane in this game.
Hook shot and everything connecting. Bobica staying alive for a long time, though. They've got this Sentry down for the Dire and the Rolling Thunder now right on top of Alacrity. Ooh, and a little slight from XWY to get the kill onto the Viper. Meanwhile, Cogs and Battery Assault used on a PQ, but PQ's on the run. The arrow lands from Felix. They've also got Flyby with the Killing Spear, and now XXS moving over with XWY once again. They're trying to get a couple of return kills, set up his Searing Chains, and they'll get the kill on XCJ. But Flyby, how willing is he to move forward? Not much, and he'll walk it out.
Again, Core's not getting involved. This is the first involvement of Mars using that spear to secure the last hit. He's been farming, focusing on the laning stage. If you look at his items, it's like all these small items, you can call them. Soul Ring, Double Bracer, Magic Wand, even decided to go for the Phase Boots. One of the reasons why he's on top of the network, because he didn't leave his lane. He's been farming the big camp and pushing out the wave with both of the abilities, instantly killing it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
6-5. Blink Dagger there for the Pango. So that's always nice to have. Like you said, Blink Dagger is going to be shipped out on the courier soon, and then you'll have the Rolling Thunder, you'll have the Blink Dagger with it. See what he goes for afterwards, and, well, Bobica, good for an Illuminate, but that's not going to land. They are smoked up, though. XWY, PickyU. Can they find anything? Good slight searing chains would line it up, but ooh, glimpse all the way back. Flyby hit with the static storm, and he is very dead. So another kill there for the Disruptor. 4 heroes coming around. Aster moving as a unit a lot early on.
Definitely. I feel Knights should have had a better read on this one because no one was showing. Phantom Lancer was farming triangle. That means that they did not see 5 heroes on the map. They started to fall back a little too late. Also, Glimpse, a lot of value from this spell in this game. You have good vision. Pangolier with the Rolling Thunder, especially with the Blink Dagger, he's going to be providing vision. Phantom Lancer with his illusion, even Ember Spirit. So if he can keep the distance, like 2 supports on Aster, they don't want to get close to a fight ever. They want to keep the distance. Front line's going to be like okay-ish if XXS can get the shield crash off. As time goes by, this Phantom Lancer is going to become bigger and bigger. About to finish off his Diffusal Blades. Oh, another Glimpse.
Yeah, Glimpse back with the arenas. Use the spear lands. And the arrow hook shot chrono combo. Here comes the damage. No, because there's 4 heroes from Knights locked in their own chrono. So all they're going to get is XXS. It felt like they could have gotten a lot more from that.
It was a 6-man chrono. 7 if you include Faceless Void.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Had the stats there by putting your own allies in it. Rocket Flare, Illuminate, hits on the Ego, but he's got the Time Walk to easily get rid of that damage. They get the Tier 1 tower over mid. This could have been a lot more devastating for Aster, but they kind of get lucky on that one. Maelstrom finally picked up for Ego, and now he's working on that BKB.
Pretty standard stuff from Faceless Void. Ego has looked pretty stable, I would say. All of these 3 games, he has a great laning stage.
Under the Moonlight Shadow here for Knights. Bit of a shroud of it. Moving around the map, but not going to really find much of anything. As mid, it's again 3 heroes ready to go. Let's see if they find Flyby or XCJ. XCJ ready to go in with the hook shot once again. Felix is over bottom, so they're not going to have like an arrow follow-up or anything. And you've got PL farming top, and he's free to do that. Going up against now the Viper in that lane. He's got the Diffusal ready. Now looking over at the Manta style, so we'll see what Monet offers and when he's going to start getting really involved in these fights.
So far, he hasn't been involved in anything, focusing on his own farm. Still feels killable, especially when Chronosphere is up.
Static Storm laid down inside his own cog, so that's a little bit troublesome for XCJ, and XWY is going to get a kill onto him once again. So he is all of a sudden on a killing spree, and from what once was XWY struggling to get farm, he's now up at about 7K, catching up to the Viper and getting away from his own Coddle. But the arena comes down, and now, ooh, can they get the kill here onto the Ember? He's surviving a little bit longer with the mech health, but not long enough. Felix Chaba getting credit for the kill in XWY, so the second I talked about him, and I cursed him.
Yeah, XXS, quick reaction, managing to blink out, and I think the spear hit Ember Spirit, right? So he dodged it, but at what cost? Also, looking at Pangolier, he did have 4-4-0 build, and he picked up the talent. He picked up the Lucky Shot armor reduction talent. He just got a Lucky Shot on level 11. So yeah, picking up the talent, and you don't even have a spell.
Value.
Yeah.
That sounds like value, right?
It's the old meme. Back in the days, buy Zaghanim Scepter, doesn't have ulti. Because Zaghanim Scepter only used an ulti.
Okay. How old of a meme is that?
Oh, it's an old meme. It's like maybe even Dota 1 meme.
They were just etching it on stone.
Yeah, it's I have it somewhere in my garden.
Swashbuckle into the XCJ cogs. Trying to maybe find a glimpse there. XXS followed him for just a moment. Now Moonlight Shadow and a smoke. So they want to know when they're under the vision here to make sure they can make this jump. They're going to go over and maybe find themselves PQ. They actually do spot him, but the kinetic field comes out. The Chrono, uh-oh! No, 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 Ego. XCJ coming over. They're going to use that dust. They'll get the kill on a PQ and, well, get nothing else.
They got him in the end. When we do the math, Chrono used -1 hero and Team Master. Not too bad. The execution, not as crisp.
No, ladies and gentlemen, we got the kill. It all works out. So 3K lead here for Knights. Still staying over towards bottom. XWY is maybe looking to send Felix packing. There is a clockwork nearby, and they are also invading the jungle up top for Aster. They've got XXS maybe finding Alacrity. There's the blink right on top. They'll go to the shield crash, Viper Strike, and now the Rolling Thunder. Bouncing. Ooh, look at where Alacrity's placed himself. It looked like it was a decent spot to get away from the Rolling Thunder. He's taking a little bit of damage. There's the blink as well as the arena coming up from Flyby. Misses the spear, though. Hook shot also going to be off the mark. They go and continue on forward to look to get this kill here onto the Mars. But Mars soaking up a lot of this damage. Monet starting to right-click away as they go to the Remnant forward. XWY gets the Searing Chains out into the Viper. Nobody dead yet on the side of Knights. They'll finally get the kill on a PQ. They'll end up losing an Alacrity, so it's a 1-for-1 so far as they find themselves XCJ. And with a swashbuckle, the right clicks from XWY, they've got themselves a second.
Using the time that they know there's no Chronosphere, and finally Monet getting involved in some of these fights. This is his first involvement. And yeah, you can see the power of the Phantom Lancer. He's like, I'm really not afraid of any of these heroes. Unless you stun lock me, unless you initiate with the hook shot into Arrow Spear, I'm gonna be okay. So if he sees any of these spells being used, no Chrono, means that Monet can move freely in these fights. Yeah.
Take another look at spear miss, hook shot miss, arrow lands. But look at how much Flyby's kind of soaking this up. Like, Monet not doing a lot of damage at the moment. And I feel like if Monet was able to get through Flyby quicker, this fight goes way worse for Knights because Flyby never even dies. And all they get is Alacrity and XCJ.
Phantom Lancer about to finish his next item, becoming super tanky. Also, he hit level 15 plus extra 15 strength, so that's extra 300 HP on him.
Monet
and the illusions.
Coming over and getting a kill on XCJ is Bobica with the Blinding Light, pushing him back into the Illuminate. So another kill here for Aster, and they're starting to kind of find their groove.
Next Chrono needs to be on point. Like, this needs to be 2-3-man Chrono into Arrow, into Nether Toxin, Rocket, probably Arena after, because Phantom Lancer, it's a relatively free Phantom Lancer game. Once he gets to his second, we've all said third, fourth item, and he's gonna disassemble Vanguard going into Heart next. I don't think you have enough damage inside Chrono to take him down from 100 to 0.
Do you think at any point they will, or are they just kind of item-wise falling behind to where that's going to be a reality?
There's no real save on side of Aster. There's mech, but that's about it. Maybe after BKB, or like if BKB is down, Swashbuckle with the Lucky Shot during Chrono, with the Disarm to mitigate some of the damage.
4-man smoke heading towards top. It's Coddle who's up there. Who, by the way, Bobica, he is just 300 gold away from having an Ags.
This is going to be a like semi-save during Chrono. Faceless Void does have a BKB of his own, so he will be able to hit the targets freely, but the rest of the team, they don't. Flyby actually does have a second BKB. Okay, he just finished it.
Alacrity has that Ags, that nosedive, going into a BKB of his own.
Interesting build on XXS. After finishing off Blink Dagger and buying a Shard. Not XXX, sorry. Yeah, him. He's going for Hex, which is not your usual Pango build.
Seen a lot of Hex. A lot of scythes.
Yeah. I guess he does it for a meme, so we can call him HexXS. Yeah, you're drinking water. You couldn't even laugh. He just gave me a look. Roshan is still available. We can see Pango on the high ground, trying to proc it. Maybe they're doing it.
Yeah, they moved over towards Roche, but they've also got Ego hitting towards bottom, so these heroes are starting to combine together and maybe make a move through bot. But nobody's hope for Aster. They're over towards Roche, sending these illusions in and starting onto this first Roche, something they didn't get in the second game. Rocket Flare spots it out, and they'll bail. They're going to bail. They are going to smoke. And let's see how Knights react. Not really much of a reaction yet. The Rocket Flare now sees that the pit is empty. And Knights are in a good spot for this, honestly. Aster 5-man smoked, and, you know, Knights aren't really in the vicinity to get caught by this.
Whoever wins next fight takes the Roche pretty much, unless there's 8 casualties. Aster still near Roshan, but the Rockets, they keep scouting them out. Phantom Lancer getting closer and closer to his heart.
Yeah, still walking the yellow brick road. Eventually he'll ask for it. And he'll get that heart.
Okay, so he's not gonna disassemble Vanguard, gonna keep it. Later on, we'll turn that into Abyssal Blade.
We'll see when, in fact, those timings do end up arriving. And I think this has really kind of allowed Knights to bolster what they had at the moment. Like, I'm a little bit surprised that Aster stayed a little bit further back or didn't commit to Roche. I feel like it's been such a long time, and they've been hesitant about going into the pit. Now Monet finally goes in again. And I wonder when the full commitment's going to come out. Like, Knights have not made a move towards this side of the map for a while, and I feel like they have kind of just said, hey, like,
they've been hitting this tier 2 tower for a long time. Not enough tower damage. It's Marana plus Mars, who does not have Deso. It's also one of the slower Roche takings. So not enough tower damage, not enough Roshan. Radiant using a scan, thinking that they might approach from the southern side. In the end, Monet will pick it up.
So they do get the Aegis into the hands of the Phantom Lancer, and that's going to give Monet a lot of time to really get some farm here, get into that heart, get into the shard afterwards, what he wants. Ooh, swashbuckle, roll up, Chrono. But the damage is kind of lacking, and it'll be just enough. Wasn't exactly the quickest kill, and now they go into the Moonlight Shadow. The Will-O-Wisp causing them a little bit of trouble to get that kill into the Pangolier. They do eventually get it, but you can see that that Ags from the Coddle makes it way more difficult if placed correctly. And
it was also a good glimpse by PQ, understanding that if he uses it, Faceless Void, he already committed with the Chrono, which means that he wants to pop a BKB as well. So after all, very good trade for Aster, losing only XXS and also Chrono's on cooldown. So for the next 2 minutes, 1.5, they're going to be able to move around the map and look for a fight.
And they already got a pick-off going the other way. They get the kill on the XCJ, and still 350 remaining on this Aegis, and Monet getting ever so close to that heart. Seems like the Wizard of Oz will give him said heart. Who do you think needs courage in this game?
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Who needs courage? Maybe Clockwork. I didn't see him hook-shotting in.
XWY eating the Viper Strike, and then just Remnant away.
Looking at the itemization on side of Knights, they want to have something against this Phantom Lancer.
Will-O-Wisp, Ego, BKB forced, and straight TP.
Oh, that's his second usage of a BKB, down to 7 seconds already. Yeah, so Viper going into Radiance against the PL.
Interesting.
Oh, very interesting.
I'm looking at Ego going Ags, and then Shard, a little Lincoln's action. Do you think this a good Ags game?
Radiant's top tower is under
Yeah, I think it's a good response. They're mostly itemizing against Phantom Lancers. They understand where the real threat is coming from, so getting in, bashing those illusions, having a mischance with the Radiance, the slow burn, I think that's the correct itemization here.
Ogre Seal Totem drops.
Dire's bottom tower.
Easy clap.
Titan Sliver also falling there, and Alacrity and Flyby over to the side. The spear is off the mark. Sends XWY back towards bottom, which they are sieging.
You can't heavily commit on Phantom Lancer. He does have a Heart and Vanguard, 3,000 HP.
They got the spear to land. A rebuke to follow. The Rolling Thunder comes in. The kinetic field with a hook shot a little bit off the mark. So XCJ not accomplishing what he wants. They're still going to go after Monet and throw some right clicks, but eventually he'll walk away. Get some heal from the Illuminate, and the Heart will heal him back up.
2 BKBs, Heart Region will kick in. He's slightly too tanky, and also having a Blinding Light from Keeper of the Light and having that Will-O-Wisp makes things very difficult for Knights to just like deal damage if they don't have BKBs on. Aster's slowly getting back into the game, if you want to call this a comeback, considering that there has been a 5k gold lead for Knights at one point.
Yeah, it does feel as though the game plan is still executing the way that Aster would like, right?
Yeah.
He just still for another minute.
Dire's middle tower.
Let's see, XXS going Wind Waker. Okay.
He wants to get a Hex first,
Yeah.
very close to it, just 800 gold away.
Yep,
But
and then that
it's a
Wind Waker
long
next.
road, because they don't have a real save, something that we did talk about during the Chronosphere. It's only mech below the Will-O-Wisp against non-BKB units.
Alacrity in some trouble. Static Storm is down with the Force Staff, getting him out of there. Arena's going to be placed down and committed. They'll get the Spirit. Actually lands on a Monet, but it's not going to matter. The Alacrity Viper will be killed.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And another kill there onto the Viper. Ego nowhere to be found. He still wants to get himself that Axe, and he does have the gold for it. So now maybe they could look to fight up against this Phantom Lancer
Dire's middle
as
tower
the Aegis
has
expires. So Aster got a lot out of this Aegis. They got a couple of kills. They get a couple of towers. They get their items ready to go. I feel like they put themselves in a pretty secure spot coming into the next few minutes prior to the second Roche.
They don't need to rush things. They can slowly poke, go for the kill, try to provoke Knights to go into the fight, and maybe use one of their abilities, lower their BKBs, and potentially even getting out without a casualty. These 2 wards, there was 1 ward that expired for Knights, was near the tier 3 tower bottom, and 1 inside a triangle. Like, they didn't get too much value out of these wards.
Yeah, they were nice in theory. And then after they placed them down, they were kind of on their own side of the map the entire time. Yeah, because that ward over in the bottom tier 3 came right after the Barana took the bottom tier 2 and went over there and just placed it down.
Vango does have Hex finished, and also Keeper of the Light getting very close to it.
Yeah, double Hex.
Usually you don't see this, but
Kato
they
just
feel
has
like,
so much
oh,
gold.
we need a little bit of extra control. We're lacking, they don't really have a single stun, so that's going to be a good way to control people so they can't use BKBs.
Alacrity, it seems like his game is good, but we're not feeling his effects, right? He's 2, 3, and 4. It's certainly not as big as the first Viper game that he had. So kind of waiting for him to really bump it up. XCJ, hook shot, no. Alacrity just farmed that. So there's no creeps there and no hook shot target to land on to get away from this. And XWY, I feel like I've been saying this a lot, XWY gets XCJ.
He's been, you know, having trouble finding good angles, good initiations with the hook shot. Pretty similar to what happened in Game 1. I feel like Knights are very afraid of how to start a fight and relying on Faceless Void to be able to get stuff done. Aghanim Scepter finally finished. So, want to see this in action against BL and his illusions.
Yeah, Monet is on his way to a Bloodthorn, about to have the Orchid. And then from there, we'll see how it goes. Like, he is top of the net worth. He's right above Ego. Like, Ego's not having a bad farming game either. But it's all about, like you said, Knights going in and executing, and right now they're not really doing any of that. We're going to have 4 seconds left until we know when Roche will be up.
Difference is between these two
30
carries,
seconds.
Ego cannot allow himself to make a mistake.
Right. There's a little margin for error. And, you know, it might be the time where now with Roche coming up soon, I got to assume Knights are going to contest, right? They can't just let this go.
They have to. They do have scouting tools. They do have a Marana ulti, so good way to approach Roshan. Boboka about to finish his second Hex. This is very, very... Oh, like whoever shows on a top lane might just straight up die. Right now, they're moving as a unit. But if someone goes greedy and tries to push that top wave, instant Hex from Pango, Blink. Ooh.
Oh, Rolling Thunder, Moonlight Shadow, they get away, but goes in with a shield crash. Chrono.
Only on one.
Yeah, not exactly the best Chrono, but it'll go to the Viper Strike. They should be able to get the kill on XXS, and maybe they just back off from this. But the Spear comes in, that lets on XWY. They get themselves the Will-O-Wisp. That's down with the PvP. Bye-bye, fly-by. Time walk in, time walk out. Ego looking for his moment. He's already used the Chrono, so it's not really that great. XCJ ends up dead. They go to the Slider Fist. They jump to the arena, but it's not going to land. Now they got the glimpse back onto Flyby.
Oh, no.
On the edge of the Will-O-Wisp, so now he's in some trouble. The Static Storm is down. They get the kill with Big U. So Flyby gone. 2 heroes dead on the side of Knights, and Aster probably set themselves up to get themselves the second Roche.
Faceless Void can't initiate like that. It needs to be Clockwork providing vision, going in with the hook shot, Mars with the arena. He does have a Blink Hex, so they group up. He can't... Like, it sounds good because, like, oh yeah, I'm the one who's going to control this Pangolier during Rolling Thunder. In the worst case, XXS could have bought back.
Yeah, look at this. So, allows them to set up. XCJ doing a good job over to the side, but they've also got that Hex from Mars. And even with the Hex from Mars, they just didn't quite have the damage to get the kill there onto the Ember. And all they get is XXS. They'll end up losing another here on the side of Knights. Flyby, Static Storm, Spirit Lance.
Once that Chrono was used, the fight's already over. They need to get more targets from it. Phantom Lancer, like once your BKBs are down, you do have Orchid plus a Mindbreaker, Heart. You're going to be able to reset so many times in this fight. You need to get in, get the damage done, but you need to get like at least 2 targets inside a Chrono and kill them immediately.
Yeah, his targets for Chrono, I mean, except for the one where he caught 4 of his allies, have been...
They haven't been amazing.
Single target. So now Aster, in terms of net worth, have finally taken themselves a net worth lead, and it's the first time this game, I feel like Knights, you know, they were up 5K, but it still felt like Aster's control, Aster's game. And now with the second Aegis in their pocket, it does kind of feel as though they're setting up for a high ground push. Need to be a little bit careful with the Chrono available, but Knights, it almost feels like they have to be the ones who force this engagement to make it happen. Monet's over to the side, and wrap around from Knights. Very quiet when they're under the Shroud of Moonlight Shadow.
Careers are coming. It's a full Bloodthorn. They don't see it.
They don't really get anything from that attempt there with the Moonlight Shadow.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And bottom, again, 2 or 3 towers gone. Racks are next. They need to find a way to react to this without losing too many numbers, and it's going to be very difficult, again, to go after Monet. Remnant very far forward from XWY. Hex, Arena, Hex, still in the arena. Arrow, all right, that finds a target. But they've got themselves the glimpse back on a Flyby.
Another
and another
Hex.
Hex. It's Hex on Hex on Hex, and they are going to get the kill there onto Mars. They'll take out Flyby, and now they move in. Time walk in, time walk out, trying to use that Axe to make Monet doubt. And, well, not doing much of that.
Flyby's like, yo guys, I have a Hex. You know what's better? Two hexes. So they lost a set of barracks. They don't have a glyph available. Lane, however, is on Aster's side, but they're gonna still go in. They do have creeps in the base. Another Hex.
It's constant hexes. Wisp is down. That pulls in Alacrity for the moment. And just trying to clear it up. They just can't find their way in. And XWY going into the Remnant over by the bottom set of racks, or where they once stood. And then now, sounds like a Rolling Thunder coming their way, and here it comes. And when there's thunder, there is going to be a storm. The storm is Aster, so they'll go after Alacrity. He'll pop the BKB. The Rolling Thunder lands onto the Marana, so Felix trying to run. He leaps his way back into the base and just survives. They've got 4 heroes once again, but Flyby's going to miss that spear. They go after Monet. They've got themselves the Chrono. They get the Aegis out of his hands, but that's just the Aegis. Is that really worth it? Is that really going to turn into more? The arrow lands on a Monet. Do they have the damage to get the kill on the Phantom Lancer? They'll end up losing Felix, and now Monet is going to be out of the stun. They'll get the kill on a Flyby. They'll take out a second. They'll use the buyback. Time walk in again with that Ag, so he's getting the bashes. The bashes. Not going to be enough on a Monet, or will it? The bashes! And Alacrity gets the kill on a Monet! They'll take out Bobica. XWY falls, and Aster, well, they lose a couple, and they lose seemingly the first fight of this game that they have the entire time.
Finally a good fight from Knights. They do, like, the spell usage was on point. This is the type of fight that they wanted. Like, Faceless Void also holding this Chronosphere for a very, very long time. But I think it comes down to Felix landing that arrow once the Phantom Lancer has respawned, then landing an arrow on Keeper of the Light, forcing himself down, and using Starstorm to finish off Keeper of the Light. So, yeah, these are the fights that I kind of expected that the Knights are going to have in the mid-game. And we're going to see that again.
Yeah, Felix buys back, and then, let's see, Monet on the run. And all of a sudden, let's see the bashes that Eagle gets. 1, 2, he'll get a third one in just a second. Boom, boom. And, well, XWY is next. And all of a sudden, look at where we're at. This is the first time Knights have been on this side of the map in so long. A little Rolling Thunder action from XXS. Knights, they buy some time.
Viper with Boots of Travel and Manta Style is very annoying to deal with because he can push the waves easily with his corrosive skin. Like, I think he also picked up the illusion rune. Yeah, he did. So he had all the illusions, all the lanes were pushed out. In the end, didn't decide to go for this Radiance that he was aiming for a very long time. In the end, decided to go for the Shiva's Guard to slow them down.
And he's going into the Bloodstone.
It's another hero that can use the Bloodstone. Besides, you know, Letrak and Razor. I think Razor is the most toxic one. When you try to kill him.
Toxic?
Yeah.
It's a toxic thing to buy an item?
If you haven't experienced it, people who do know what I'm talking about. I've seen some other tries on a Bloodstone. It's not the hero, it's mostly the item. I've seen Underlord with it. It looked okay in some of those games. It's more of a pub build than you know, a real build.
Right. When you talk pub build, real build, what separates the two?
Well, the one is to have fun, be annoying. You know, you laugh with your buddies on Discord. The other one is boring. You win the game with it.
Okay.
You qualify to a major.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know what qualifying to a major sounds like, or feels like. None of my builds are ever pro builds. Not even my Midas first item, Ancient Apparition. BKB, Papa Ego, kind of quickly, and now getting a couple bashes. This is going to be a BKB that doesn't lead to a Chronosphere, but they go into the Moonlight Shadow. XXS still taking a lot of damage, and Alacrity even thinking about going back in under the Pangolier to get him killed off. But now they need to be careful. No BKB available on this Faceless Void. And where can they go? Oh, Blink, Hex, Static Storm. That's going to be placed down, and it's actually in a decent spot. They're maybe looking for the Chrono. They got Monet on the edge, and now Ego's going to go after him, but they've got themselves a glimpse. They have themselves a second Hex, so the Chrono's not going to lead to anything. The hookshot's not going to land from XCJ. He uses the Doppelganger, but Monet still taking a lot of damage. They've got a Will-O-Wisp down. Monet's going to run. He's needing to get out, but here comes XWY with the Remnant in. They've got the Will-O-Wisp once again. XCJ ends up falling, and now they'll take out the Mirana. They've lost themselves as a Disruptor, and Flyby needs to get out. He's trying to run, he's trying to hide, but here comes XXS. They have the vision to get the kill here onto this Mars, and now they'll look over the Viper. Alacrity trying to put out the damage. A lot of these heroes sitting low. The time walk in with that Eggs, it helps them lock down XXS. And Ego now dominating, maybe looking after Bobica. He'll try to TP out, and he'll do so.
Oh, Bobica. All right, he's going to be okay.
Fine.
If Faceless Void did have a BKB there, it was a bit of a panic BKB. I mean, he's playing against 2 Hexes plus a Silence, a lot of the things that can proc this Lincoln Sphere that he has. But yeah, look at some of the damage is 7,500 damage on Viper.
And only 2,000 on the Void.
Yeah, because he could not finish off Phantom Lancer. Also Will-O-Wisp. Like, it was there almost the whole duration. We're going to see how it happened.
And with no BKB, Ego can't really time walk close enough. He has to go kind of this alternate route down because the Static Storm was down. So, causing him a lot of issues. Monet just escaping. A lot of these heroes sitting low, and XWY, I feel like I know what he wanted there. Didn't quite get it, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to get the kill here onto Flyby. He hexed himself, but that wasn't enough. Or got hexed. Wasn't enough.
And you can see Phantom Lancer being very afraid of Faceless Void, because if he gets one time walk off, gets another proc of Mjolnir, gets another proc of Time Lock, he could easily kill them in there. Like, Phantom Lancer did, I'm gonna say, reach his peak. He's not gonna get any bigger than this. Like, you can't buy items. Maybe you can replace Power Treads with something. He seems to be going for Silver Edge. He wants to be able to break Viper, and also level 25 talent on Faceless Void. You can break that with the Silver Edge, which is very annoying. Like, Faceless Void with the backtrack, it's 20%, so 20% of any kind of damage, like, you just receive less. It's definitely one of the best talents in the game.
Definitely receive about 20% less.
Never refuse.
Easy math.
That's what I like. Easy math. Anything I can count on my fingers is pretty easy math to me. Roche up in about 5 seconds. We'll see who gets it this time. Going to be a fight over at the pit. We'll see where it goes. It's going to be Aegis. It's going to be Cheese. And it's going to be Ag's Blessing. Who will be blessed?
Ember Spirit already has one. I'm talking about Aster. Keeper of the Light does have one. Same goes for Disruptor. So not too much of value on Pangolier, considering that items that he picked up is doesn't synergize as well. It's okay. It's nothing spectacular. It's better on a core Pango.
For the side of Dire.
There's already, what, 1, 2 Ags, 1 on Viper, 1 on Faceless Void.
Yeah.
I
guess you could give it to XCJ.
I think they're going to give it to Flyby if they get it.
The Bulwark upgrade?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you think so? You know why I like the double hook, or, you know.
The hook shot upgrade, the overclocking. It's okay, but it's on position 5. I also want to see how the Static Storm is going to be used in this one. If they get a good initiation, if they get a Hex into Static Storm, you can't use your items. There's no real save on their side. Felix does have a Yule Scepter. Probably wants to go for Wind Waker at one point. Same goes for Pango, who is getting actually close to it. It's one of the most fun items you can buy in Dota, like Overwhelming Blink plus a Wind Waker, but it's so expensive.
Pretty. Just running away from the Spirit Lance. Trying to get some help here, and Spirit Lance on the illusion. Well done. XWY, Gleipnir in his future. See if he commits out to that at some point. Looking for the blink on the disruptor too.
Wants to be able to position himself, keep the distance, wait for the Hex, and then go in.
Keep the distance, keep the light. Let's see.
Dire are scanning.
Aster gonna come over to the side. They do have knights nearby, and they are smoked up. So, ooh, smoke broken on the Pangolier, and it's actually Flyby who goes in with this. The arrow follow-up. They've got the Lotus Orb. They're gonna go forward. They've Moonlight Shadowed, and XXS is gonna roll and roll and roll.
That was a risky roll. He was there playing with his life. Eon Disc already proc. Does have buyback available if needed, but definitely wants to wait until his Eon Disc is available.
Roche defending itself from some illusions. Rocket flares come in. Still.
Viper hit level 25. Minus 11 seconds Nether Toxin cooldown, brings it down to 3 seconds. So you can have that perma, being able to break Phantom Lancer, Phantom Rush, like even Pango, that's really good.
Yep.
And also having the AoE damage against Phantom Lancer and his illusions sitting inside of it, life stealing more with the Bloodstone.
You think we're going to get to tier 5s?
I think the game will end. Next Roche, and whoever wins pretty much going to win the game. Ego, Smoke does have the
Chrono coming
double
in.
Chrono as well available.
Yeah, let's see if they can get the kill on a Monet. It's almost looking absolute here. They get the kill onto the Phantom Lancer. They drop down the Will-Wisp. That lands onto a couple of heroes. They've got the buyback available on the PL. Bobica TPing out, and now the TP attempt, but goes up into the air and pick you in trouble and in the grave. So 2 kills there for the side of Knights. That should set up for Roche.
It should be an easy one. There is the Aghanim Scepter upgrade that you mentioned. Now that I'm thinking of it, maybe they decide to give it to Clockwork because of the upgrade to Battery Assault, where it affects all units. So that means that all PL illusions are gonna get stunned. Let's see who decides to pick it up. Yeah, they're gonna give it to Clockwork in the end. And it's also good that you get like the rocket cooldown, so you can see where everyone is, which makes things a lot easier for Mars to get his like another set of spells after he initiates with the arena.
Yeah, it's that like hookshot stun radius, right? And the
Yeah, it's
duration.
also it's also the bigger radius on the stun, so that means that you can stun those illusions. Like Phantom Lancer reached his peak, and now you can feel that Faceless Void for the last like 10 minutes even Faceless Void is taking over.
If PL has like space, he can get something done. He's just not getting any of that at the moment, and the Chrono's certainly there locking him down. He's not going to be forced to buy back. As long as they hold off from initiating in the next 10 seconds, they'll drop down a Will-O-Wisp. They've got themselves the Hex. They'll go to the Rolling Thunder. They are going to initiate, but still no Phantom Lancer. Static Storm, and there's the Aegis. Okay. Now they're going to look over. They've got themselves Mars with the BKB moving back, and there's another Hex. Hex on Hex on Hex. They're going to go in. They're going to look here for Ego. They go to the hookshot from XCJ, but not really going to matter. And there's the arena as XCJ slowed up and forced staff back and forth, but eventually loses his life. They take out the Aegis very quickly, and Knights fail to take advantage of that Roche and fail to take advantage of that second life.
Some great spellcasting coming out from Aster to be able to control Faceless Void with the Static Storm, with the double Hex. They play better when Phantom Lancer is dead. They just took a fight 4 versus 5. They did manage to take down Aegis and almost kill Faceless Void second time.
So 10k lead, and now without that Aegis, I worry if they're going to try to go to the high ground. We've seen a lot of these teams try to be very particular about where they go and how cautious they are. So how long will we wait to see either of these teams kind of find that confidence to go back in? And it might be a little bit. Do we see you know, the typical, oh, now we no longer have Aegis. When's next Roche? So we just lost it at the beginning of the timer? I guess we'll wait 6 more minutes.
6 more minutes. It's not that long, right? Pangolier does have a Wind Waker, so he can save people inside a Chrono. Mirana, okay, she's changed her mind. I'm glad that she's going for a Wind Waker. She was thinking about getting the Lotus Orb, but it's a still good pickup. You're playing against 2 Hexes, which could change things around, but also Wind Waker, it's like a guaranteed save.
Are you more of a Wind Waker person or
Yes. I don't need to hear the rest. It's my favorite item.
I was going to say Ocarina of Time. Or Majora's Mask, but
I don't even know what that is.
you hurt my heart so much. Oh my god.
Is that some anime reference?
Ah, you just stop, please.
Put some salt in the wound. It's anime, right?
No,
And some lemon juice. Squeeze it in.
no, it's not anime. Glimpse coming in, Rolling Thunder. No. EKB. Right? No. Yeah. Rolling Thunder actually lands onto the Mirana. And here come the Spirit Lances. Felix is going to have to get his way out. They're going to the Chrono. That's going to land at XWY, but probably not the target you want. They still can't get the kill.
There's
They've got
the
the Wind Waker. Go to the Arrow. That's not going to land either with a BKB pop here by the Ember. Now they'll go over to Alacrity. Alacrity turning it around. They've got the disarm for a moment onto the Phantom Lancer, who's going to use that Doppelganger to get out. Time Walk in. Another Chrono coming out from Ego. This time they catch one in with the Static Storm coming out. Is it going to be enough? Do they have the damage? Here comes the Arrow, and they'll get the kill on Monet. They've got him dead for 100 seconds. He does have buyback. Time Walk in. Buyback comes out from Monet. They get the kill on a Pick You. And over on the other side of the fight, XWY trying to get something done to get the kill on XCJ. They will go over to Alacrity. They've got themselves a Spirit Lance. It's low success going in. Fight for the strike thrown out. Arrow's going to be off the mark, and Monet trying to get it done with the Nether Toxins down. It's very difficult for him to really finish off anybody. XCJ, he's on the run from Monet, and they finally get the kill out of the Clockwork. They'll look over at Felix Chalba. He's been a very big distraction for them, but they get themselves this Mirana gone. Without the double Chrono anymore, it's feeling like they're a little bit weak as they'll lose Alacrity. That's going to be 3 heroes falling, and Ego might be next, and Ego will go down to his grave. Flyby with the double spear hitting on XWY as well as
No blink.
There's the Remnant forward, the Searing Chains locking up the Mars. They've got the Hex. They'll get the kill eventually, as it will be XWY who finishes off the full team wipe. Alacrity buys back. Okay, that's an early buyback. Let's see it go.
This Wind Waker changing things around, being able to save people inside Chronosphere for 2.5 seconds. That's quite of a big deal. And also, they only used 1 buyback. Monet only buying back on his Phantom Lancer, so he needs to be a little careful. But they need to use more on side of Knight.
Yeah, they started with the Alacrity one immediately. Probably just wanted to get it out of the way. I criticized it a little bit too early. And now the Arrow, not going to hit the mark. Felix, as well as Alacrity, going to try and defend with another Toxin to clean up these creeps. They're going to use another buyback. They'll have XCJ in about a second. Now he's back up. And Ego in 40. Let's see if he buys back. Arrow takes out the catapults. Mars takes out the rest.
Seems like we're going to have that 60-minute game. Wait for tier 5 items, 3 minutes until it, 2 minutes until potential Roche spawn.
Yeah, it's going to kind of coincide, right? Tier 5s in Roche. I'm excited. Revenant Brooch again here on Viper, going into the Refresher.
He really loves Revenant's Roche on his Viper.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the only hero that buys it.
It's very situational. It's like extremely good against heroes with high armor. It's the most DPS you can buy against Terrorblade, Morphling, these type of heroes.
So we were being shown the plus 1.2 second Blinding Light stun at the level 25 of Bobica.
That's a pretty cool talent.
Rolling Thunder, blink over. Moonlight Shadow 4 staffs away, goes into the jetpack, and gets jet back. Save myself there a little bit.
No, it was a good one. So, Blinding Light, Octarine Core on Keeper of the Light with Chakra Magic. It goes down to 7 seconds. with the, it's like AoE stun. A lot of value from this spell, especially if you can get it off multiple times.
Bovica's been able to do a lot of work in these fights. Certainly. MKB for Ego. You can see without the Chronos, though, he really was struggling. It took the 2 Chronos to get the kill on the Monet, due to the fact that they only caught XWY in the first one, and then they had to use the second one on a Monet. Obviously, they had the buyback, so then without the buyback, you see that Phantom Lancer has the openings to just kind of do his own game. Do that 1v9. So Roche, a minute and 17, and that will be as tier 5s are available. So we're probably going to get both. What are you looking for? What's your favorite tier 5 item?
Ex Machina. Without
Good
a doubt,
movie.
like Fallen Sky is good. Ex Machina is a really good movie, yeah. They don't make
Giant's
movies
Ring?
as good. Giant's Ring on someone,
Pause. Coming out as a disconnect from Monet. FPS something. Probably lagging a little bit.
we don't have that like strength hero that deals a lot of damage. So Giant's Ring, not as good. Maybe on Mars, it's okay-ish. But definitely Ex Machina up there. 25-second cooldown, resets all of your items. Like, you reset your Wind Waker, and then you save someone else in the second chrono. This item is the best. Like, double Hex, double Eon Disc, you name it. The more items you have, the more powerful it is.
So is that tier, like, top tier? Best item?
I think so.
Okay. See how it goes. I like Pirate's Hat.
You like that money, huh?
Yeah. Giant's Ring's always fun, but I never get that one. They're never like, oh, give the Ancient Apparition the Giant's Ring. Seer Stone. Yeah, Ex Machina feels like top tier. Mirror Shield, maybe a close second.
Mirror Shield's nice, yeah. Combine that with Lincoln Sphere.
So, Roche, 45 seconds away, and 25 seconds away are the tier 5s. We'll see if we'll get Roche tier 5s or both, or none.
I'm not sure about this one, but it should work. I don't remember seeing it because we rarely see these tier 5 items. Book of the Shadows during the Chronosphere, it should work. Like, it should be able to save people because it's like you're not targetable.
Master set up near Roche. Fly by. Ooh, Mirror Shield. Grabs that, throws it in immediately. Rolling Thunder comes out with the Moonlight Shadow being used. Gleipnir, Will-O-Wisp, it's down. Luminate coming across the bow. They've got the BKB being popped here by Alacrity very early on. And here's Roche with all 4 items. Got it in and out with a Mirror Shield. Great item in Ocarina of Time as well. So, you know, we'll see what he's able to do with that. And if that gets passed over, it does get passed to XWY. So, yeah, he's got
Basically,
the
double
Lincolns.
Lincolns. Yeah. It's very difficult for them to control him with
Apex.
the Hex. All right, let's see if he decides to keep that one. For now, it's gonna be a Witchbane. So that's a. Where was this item? Did they not have a tier 4 item before?
Oh, fly-by hook shot now coming in. XWY. Arrow off the mark after the spear put him into the arena. Oh, Mirror Shield, Lincolns, and now the double arena. The Venn diagram has been made, but the Venn diagram is empty.
They got nothing out of it.
Yes.
Because I just saw Faceless Void holding onto Witchbane. That's a tier 4 item. Like, it's great to dispel things. I'm not sure why they were not holding it. It's great. It's a great solution to Wind Waker.
And now he's got that Apex stashed up.
Maybe he just didn't notice it. Did they have it?
Book of the Dead. I guess you could use that and read a little bit. 30 strength, 30 intelligence.
Book of the Dead, very annoying. Someone's gonna keep that, push the bottom wave, go for tier 4 towers.
You know who really doesn't like Book of the Dead?
Ooh.
Bruce Campbell. That's just for me, I guess.
Who is that?
Nothing. Never mind.
You gotta tell me.
No. All right, you'll just Google. Google's your friend.
Inside the Roche pit they go.
Roche getting low. Roche looking like it's going to be theirs. And Willis forces the BKB from Ego. And, oh, Blink. Right on top of Ego. Chrono. Oh.
Defensive one. He has an extra. He does have Refresher if necessary.
Roche not dead after all that. They actually took their attention off it. Five-man smoke coming back over.
He refreshed it.
Yeah. Now he's got Chrono again. Rolling Thunder, and XCJ is going to be caught by the Blink. They'll time walk away, so Ego wants nothing to do with this. Alacrity with the Viper Strike on XXS. Monet over to the side, and the Arena as well as the Spear that's going to land onto the Ember. They get the kill on XCJ. He doesn't have buyback, so they're not going to have themselves the clockwork. They have no hook shot to go in on this. Alacrity over to the side with another toxin down. Will-O-Wisp, Chrono, that's going to come down on Monet. Do they have the damage to get the kill here? They're getting
Wind
the
Waker, where is it?
Oh, Wind Waker, just at the end. They got the save on Monet, but it's not going to be enough. They still get the kill here on the Phantom Lancer. They'll take a picky, and they're going to buy back on both heroes. It was so close to being enough to save this Phantom Lancer, but now Ego, he's got to be very careful because he's got no BKB, he's got no Chrono, and all he is a pig. He's caught in the cage and caught in death, and now he's going to be forced to buy back as well. Monet going back in, going after Alacrity. He'll use that nosedive, goes into the Viper Strike, XWY with the BKB as well as the Lotus on him. Here comes the Rolling Thunder once again from XXS and blinks to the backlines to get Ego.
They found
got
Faceless
the
Void.
catch out of the Faceless Void. They're going to look over as though Doppelganger. They've got the Hex. They'll have the Gleipnir. They'll hit him up into the air with the Rolling Thunder once again. And there's the God's Rebuke over to the side. Flyby not able to do anything, and Ego's going to be taken out as well as Alacrity. Down goes XCJ. Nobody left alive except for the Mars, and it looks like Aster will make a bit of a comeback here as they take the series 2-1 if there's nothing that Knights can do, and it's looking unlikely as it's only just Flyby. He'll be hexed up, he'll drop down the arena, the attention is on him, and here comes the rest of the team. Slept up, GG is called, and Aster, they take the series 2-0.
I can say we're only on day 2, but this is the best game we had so far in the not just Chinese DPC, but the whole DPC, because the other regions also did not start